Hello, I'm Isidoros Parlamas, and this is the second video on reverse grammar abstractions. Now, what does that mean? When we need to learn anything, we need to work in an abstract way, and that involves concepts. Concepts by nature are abstract, but if we get to understand the nature of any of those concepts involved, then those concepts become concrete. So they are by nature abstract, but for those who understand and grasp their gist, they become concrete. In other words, they are very well understood and can be used as tools to further their learning. In this case, we're going to learn how to choose the right tense in English. Because when we learn a language, any language, the most important thing is to know how to work with the verbs. The verbs is the backbone of any language. And especially in English, where we have a lot of tenses, 16 tenses in the active voice and 10 in the passive voice, it is very important to understand certain concepts and be able to discern and interpret the context of the sentence so we can make the right choice. So that's what it is about. This is the second video. In the first video, we dealt with the concept of the time frame, and specifically we introduced the concept of diffuse time in addition to the self-explanatory times of past, present, and future. We also have the diffuse time, very important concept. And also we worked with the concept of in progress actions or situations, which means that something has started but has not ended, or something had started but had not ended, or something will have started but will not have finished or ended. And also we dealt with the non-action verbs, because non-action verbs do not take continuous tenses. Remember, in English we have 8 simple tenses and 8 continuous, 16 in the active voice, but non-action verbs do not take continuous tenses, even though when the action, or even though when the situation is in progress. Okay? All right, so this is mainly for people who speak Polish, who understand Polish, but people who understand Greek and Spanish will be able to benefit from these too. I'm going to use extensively the Google Dictionary translator, the Google Translator. So it's going to be fun. It doesn't matter if 3 languages are involved, like Polish, English and Spanish. As I said, this is mainly for Polish speakers, for people who speak Polish, who understand Polish. Okay, so as you see, today we are going to deal with 3 concepts: the perfect concept, the concept of occurrence, and the successive concept. This is the second video, June 24, 2021. Here's my name. And here we are dealing with a very interesting methodology, odpowiednia metodologia, okay? It's a no-nonsense methodology. Now this is important to translate, okay? To be able to speak your grammar, you need to use reverse grammar methodology. We're going to go into depth in reverse grammar, but not in this video, in future videos. And let's take a look at the translation, okay? Well, a lot of times the translation is not so good. My Polish is very poor, but I think we can manage. Aby móc wypowiedzieć swoją gramatykę, musisz użyć metodologii gramatyki odwrotnej. And this is the Spanish, and this is the Greek. Okay. Now, also, if you sign up, if you visit this website, this is my website, you can sign up, and I'll make sure you get very useful grammar tips. And if you want to write me at this email. The classes are online, and you learn all this, okay? Decidedly priceless speaking skills in a substantive, fast, effortless frame of mind, guaranteed speaking skills in relatively no time, okay? Let's see how this translates in Polish, okay? So, nauczył umiejętności mówienia zdecydowanie bezcenne w merytorycznej, szybkiej, bez wysiłku, ramię umysłu, gwarantowane umiejętności mówienia w szybkim czasie. Okay, horrible. Okay, I have an opportunity here to practice, to improve my Polish pronunciation. Let's take a look at the Spanish. No problem with the Spanish. Aprender habilidades de hablar decididamente de hablar inapreciables, okay? Imprecios is not good, inapreciables, en un marco mental sustantivo rápido y sin esfuerzo. Habilidades de hablar garantizadas en relativamente poco tiempo. This is not very good translation. And the Greek, no problem. Μάθετε αποκλειστικά, μάθετε επικοινωνιακές δεξιότητες ανεκτήμητης αξίας σε ένα πλαίσιο γρήγορο, εύκολο και άνετο, εγγυημένες δεξιότητες ομιλίας σχετικά πολύ γρήγορα. Κάτι τέτοιο. Ωραία. Okay. Now, we have a pair of sentences, a couple of sentences. When Nick's girlfriend arrived, he had left. When George's girlfriend arrived, he left. Okay? So, we need to analyze this because we need to answer a question. Who saw his girlfriend when he arrived, George or Nick? Okay? Now, we have enough in the context of those two sentences to determine who saw his girlfriend when he arrived, George or Nick. Now, let's translate these two sentences, okay? And the question. Okay. Well, the question is translated already. Has already been translated, so now, okay. Go to Polish. Kiedy przyjechała dziewczyna Nika, on wyszedł. Okay. Kiedy przyjechała dziewczyna Georgia, wyszedł. So it's wyszedł and wyszedł. No difference in Polish. But that's not the same in English, okay? In Spanish, cuando llegó la novia de Nick, él se había ido. Cuando llegó la novia de George, se fue. Here we have a difference. And in Greek, we also have a difference. Όταν έφτασε η φίλη του Nick, είχε φύγει. Ο Nick είχε φύγει δηλαδή. Όταν έφτασε η φίλη του Γιώργου, ο Γιώργος έφυγε. And here we also have a difference. So in Polish, as you see, there's no difference. You have wyszedł here and wyszedł here. But in English, it's not that simple, okay? So what's the difference? Well, the difference is that here in the first sentence, we have the sentence, the context indicates that something has been completed or has not been completed. So the concept of perfect, okay, the concept of perfect means that in the context it is stated explicitly or implicitly that an action or situation has or has not been completed. Okay, when we see that in a sentence, then we know that we are dealing with the concept of perfect. Pojęcie perfect oznacza, że w kontekście stwierdza się w sposób wyraźny lub dorozumiany, że działanie lub sytuacja została lub nie została zakończona. Okay? So, here we have two sentences. When Nick's girlfriend arrived and he had left. Okay? What happens first takes the past perfect. What happened first takes the past perfect tense, and what happened second takes the past simple tense. Okay, let's take a look. Here we have past perfect simple tense and past simple tense. Okay, and we see here the translation. To, co wydarzyło się jako pierwsze, przyjmuje past perfect simple tense, a to, co stało się jako drugie, przyjmuje past simple tense. So here we have the notion, okay, of the perfect. Something, we want to put emphasis on the fact that something had been completed before something else happened, okay? So, in 2a, the emphasis is on the fact that something had been completed before something else happened. Okay? Nacisk kładziony jest na to, że coś zostało ukończone, zanim wydarzyło się coś innego. And if we look at the Spanish here, el énfasis está en el hecho de que algo se había completado antes de que sucediera otra cosa. And in Greek, η έμφαση δίνεται στο γεγονός ότι κάτι έχει ολοκληρωθεί πριν συμβεί κάτι άλλο. Okay, pretty good translations. Okay, what happens first, chronologically speaking, what happened first takes the past perfect. So what happened first? Let's say Nick left at 22 hours. Okay, Nick's girlfriend Nick's Nick's girlfriend arrived at 22 hours, and Nick left at 21:55 hours. So we have two incidents here, two things that happened. Nick's girlfriend arrived at 22 hours. Dziewczyna Nika przyjechała at 22 hours. And Nick wyszedł at 21:55. So what happened first? Chronologically speaking, okay? This happened first, okay? This happened first. This is first. And this happened second. I repeat, chronologically speaking, okay? Chronologically speaking. Chronologicznie rzecz biorąc. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense in Polish. So, what happened first takes the past perfect. So that's why you see he had left. That's the past perfect. And what happened second takes the past simple. So this happened second. So when Nick's girl arrived, past simple, had left, past perfect simple. Okay? So when Nick's girlfriend arrived, he had left. So did Nick see his girlfriend when Nick arrived? No. No. So the right answer is that George saw his girlfriend when he arrived, not Nick. Nick did not see his girlfriend when he arrived because he had left before she arrived, okay? Now, in the second instance, in the second sentence, in to be, the emphasis is on the fact that the two actions or incidents occurred successively. Okay, we are interested in that they occurred successively. And when the context points that the emphasis is on the successiveness of the actions or the incidents, we need to use simple tenses, okay? So, when the emphasis is on the successiveness of the actions or the situations or the incidents, then we need to use simple tenses. And that's why here we use simple tenses, okay? The first, chronologically speaking, the first comes first and the second comes second, okay? So the order here is important. The order is important. So let's take a look here and here, okay? Okay. So in the second, in 2b, in 2a, the order the order of the sentences as they appear in the sentence is not important. Okay? We can have exactly the reverse order. We can say when Nick's girlfriend arrived, he had left, and nothing changes. We still understand that this happened first, that this happened, when X, no, sorry, that was a mistake. Nick had left when his girlfriend arrived. Now we have changed the order here, but the meaning remains the same. We know that what happened first is that Nick had left. Why? Because this is in the past perfect tense, and this is in the past simple tense, and we know this happened second. So in 2a, kolejność zdań, w jakiej występują wstępcze, nie jest ważna. Okay, nothing changes if we change the order. But in 2b, the order is important. What comes first in the sentence is also first chronologically. What comes first in the sentence is also first chronologically speaking. Okay? So, when George's girlfriend arrived, he left. First, she arrived, then he left. If we change the order, then everything changes. If we say Nick left when his girlfriend arrived, it means that first Nick left and then his girlfriend arrived. Okay? So when George's girlfriend arrived, he left. So that means that George had time to see his daughter. Okay? So 2b means that George had time to see his girlfriend because she arrived before he left, or before he had left. Both are correct. Okay? So, and that's why the correct answer is 2b. Who saw his girlfriend when he arrived? George or Nick? Well, George saw his girlfriend when he arrived. Okay? So this is the concept of successive. Okay, successive actions or incidents take the simple tenses. Let's do some more examples. Okay, he took off his hat, lit a cigar, and sat in in an armchair. Okay, so these are successive actions. Successive actions. Okay, one after the other. One okay. Kolejne oznaczają jeden po drugim. Okay. So when the context is successive, we use simple tenses. Okay? When the context is successive, we use simple tenses. You see? In this sentence, nothing indicates that something has or has not been completed. The emphasis is not, okay? In this sentence, okay? So, in this sentence, the emphasis is not on the perfect. That is, it is not of interest if something has or has not been completed. W tym zdaniu nacisk nie jest kładziony na doskonałość. To znaczy nie jest interesujące, czy coś zostało lub nie zostało ukończone. And take a look at the Spanish and Polish. Spanish and Greek. So a key word is emphasis, nacisk, okay? This is key, nacisk, emphasis. What's the emphasis? What's the emphasis here? The emphasis in this sentence is on the successiveness. Okay? And what is successiveness? It's not okay, koleinos. It means koleinos, okay, koleinia, because that's what it means here. So the emphasis is on better on the fact that the actions or incidents are successive, okay? So the emphasis in this sentence is on the fact that the actions or incidents are successive, okay? And we need to understand interpret interpret the context and understand what the sentence is meant to convey. Okay? Musimy zinterpretować kontekst i zrozumieć, co ma przekazać zdanie. Okay? In other words, where the emphasis is. Emphasis. That's the point. So the emphasis in this is to tell, to say, the audience, whoever the audience is, that these things happen successively. Okay? He took his heart first, then he lit a cigar, and then he sat in an armchair. Okay? And when we have that, then we need to use simple tenses. Now let's look at another example when the emphasis is not on the fact that the actions or incidents are successive. For example, when he was lighting the cigar, the dog jumped on him. Okay? And kiedy zapalał cigaro, pies skoczył na niego. So here the emphasis is not on the successive. Okay? Here the emphasis is not on the successive. Okay? But on what happened when another action or situation was in progress. Okay? So when this was in progress, and before it stopped, before it ended, before it finished, this happened. Okay? So here the actions are not successive. They are not successive. The second action, the dog jumped on him while he was lighting the cigar. Okay? So the first action, this is the first action. First action, still in progress, and in that action we have another one. Okay? The second action. Okay? Now compare this. When he lit the cigar, the dog jumped on him. Now in this situation, okay, in this situation we have first action and then second action. Okay, this is successive. So that's the meaning of the concept successive, okay? Now, sometimes we can say that the occurrence is of interest and not the duration or the development of, or the unfolding of an action or situation. So occurrence is more or less synonymous to the successive, okay? For our purposes, of course, for our purposes, okay? In grammar, grammar vocabulary, we can say occurrence instead of successive. It's almost the same, okay? For example, you can say that. You can see the Greek. Go back to the Polish. So we can say first I brush my teeth and then I take a shower, okay? Here, what is of interest here is the mere occurrence, not the unfolding of the actions. Okay? Najpierw myję zęby I biorę prysznic. Okay? Oh, sorry. And then, okay? Najpierw myję zęby, a potem biorę prysznic. So what is of interest here is the mere occurrence, not the unfolding of the actions or the duration, not the unfolding or duration of the actions. Interesujące jest tutaj samo zdarzenie, a nie rozwój czy czas trwania działań. Okay? I hope this makes sense in Polish. Okay? Okay, in Greek, στα ελληνικά δεν είναι εξετύλιγμα, είναι η εξέλιξη, έτσι, η εξέλιξη. Okay, so, what is of interest here is the mere occurrence, not of the unfolding or duration of the actions, the mere occurrence of the actions. And when that is true, we need to use simple tenses, okay? When okay? I musimy używać simple tenses. Okay? Interesujące jest tutaj samo występowanie działań, a nie rozwój lub czas trwania działań I musimy używać prostych czasów. Okay, so that's the point. So, Occurrence or successive, they are, most of the time, they are synonymous, and it refers to what? That what is of interest is not the unfolding or duration of the actions, but rather their mere occurrence. Okay, now let's contrast this with a sentence where the duration is of interest. Okay, or the unfolding better, because we're going to talk about duration in another video. Dzieci spały, kiedy wszystko się zaczęło. Okay? The children were sleeping when the guests left. Okay, that's better. Kiedy goście wyszli, dzieci spały. Okay? Φιλοξενούμενοι, καλεσμένοι. Okay, so when this was unfolding, when this was in progress, this happened. So here we have occurrence. We're interested in the occurrence, and here we're interested in the unfolding. Okay, so we have this here. Remember, so this is where sleeping, and left. Okay, so what's of interest here? What's of interest here? It's the unfolding, that something was in progress. So sometimes unfolding is roughly equivalent to in progress. Okay? Something has started but not finished, not ended. Coś się zaczęło, ale się nie skończyło. Okay? So, in progress. Okay? W toku. So, we can say in progress, or we can say unfolding. Remember those terms. You have to remember those terms. It's very convenient, okay? A lot depends on not forgetting those terms. A lot depends on not forgetting those terms and their meaning. Okay, if you manage to remember both the terms and their meaning, your progress will be very will be amazingly fast. Okay, so what have we learned today? We have learned perfect, and then successive, and then successive or occurrence, and then in progress or unfolding. Okay, that's what we have learned today. Very important. So perfect is, I want to repeat again what perfect means. Perfect Okay, and we'll get back to this, okay? Don't worry, we'll get back to this, but now I'm trying to introduce those concepts. Everything depends on understanding and using efficiently these concepts, okay? Everything depends on grasping and using effectively these concepts. Which, of course, are abstract, but they end up concrete once we internalize their meaning. Okay, so I hope the Polish translation is good enough to understand what I mean. Okay, these are the tenses: present perfect, past perfect, future perfect. So take a look at the Spanish and the Greek. And why do I use Greek? Oh, because I'm Greek and I have Greek students, and I speak Spanish, and I've been teaching Spanish for many years. I speak Spanish well, pretty well, very well really. My Polish is very poor, non-existent really, but I can manage. I know a few terms and I can read. I read very, my reading is very bad, but I can still manage most of the time. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, okay? I want to talk about the perfect, the occurrence, the successive. I hope I gave you a good idea of what those terms mean. If I did, mission accomplished. Okay, I'll see you in the next video, and soon after the next video we start talking about what really reverse grammar means, reverse grammar. And I'll be giving you exercises and homework too, okay? To try so you can understand what reverse grammar means and the huge benefits that it affords us, okay? So thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye.